freezing and capping Social Security checks. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I want to share with you the latest details floating around out there in regards to some major changes to Social Security, including freezing increases to benefits as well as capping off the maximum benefit. So let's get into it and talk about what they're now saying and the purpose behind these major changes. However, really quickly before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're enjoying this video so far and you want more like it, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching the latest details hitting the wire and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can clearly see what's going on out there and how it may impact you, your money, your benefits, your checks, your lifestyle, as well as anything else popping up you can possibly grab and or take advantage of. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll be here for you every single day, no matter what. That's my promise, and as always, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Subscribe down below, and let's get into it and talk about the latest proposals that are floating around and what they want to do to Social Security, as yet again, some other great ideas floating around, which, by the way, I'm being a little bit sarcastic right now, okay? So let's talk through what they're now saying about Social Security and what the whole purpose behind this would actually be as far as why they would want to do this. All right, so number one, let's quickly talk about freezing benefit increases, okay? This is kind of an interesting. Now, the whole purpose behind this is because of the Social Security insolvency issue, right? We've talked about this a million times before in so many videos, but again, this is a major, major issue. And again, we've got to look through the details about this because you never know at what point this whole insolvency thing is going to come forward, and all of a sudden they say, hey, guess what? Just kidding, we actually recalculated and it looks like we're going to be insolvent in 2 years rather than 9 years or something like this. Again, we've got to watch it very closely, and we do know for a fact there will be changes to Social Security. What they're going to be, well, that's what we're still trying to figure out, and still what Congress is trying to figure out as well, right? So some pretty important stuff. But number one, they are talking about freezing benefit increases. What do I mean by this? Well, they're talking specifically about the COLA. Every single year, we all recognize benefits for about 70 million people who receive Social Security retirement, disability, SSDI benefits, survivors, spousal, SSI, and VA benefits all get the annual cost of living adjustment. About 70 million people across the board. Well, basically what they're saying is, hey, we could really cut down a lot of extra money going on to Social Security if we just stopped, as in ended, the COLAs every single year, which, by the way, the COLAs have been going out for decades upon decades upon decades. In fact, not sure if you knew this, but again, prior to 1975, the annual COLA was actually adjusted and was actually determined by Congress. Could you imagine that? Congress coming together to try to figure out what the COLA should be? What a mess, right? Well, 1975 until present, it's always been actually pegged off of inflation data versus Congress coming together and twiddling their thumbs for 5, 6, 9 months, however long it takes them to figure out what the COLA should actually be. So thankfully, that little change went into play. And again, that's been in play for a very long time now. But this is something that they're now considering, and what they're talking about as far as if we just end the COLA, this would actually save Social Security a lot of money, and we could remain solvent for many more years to come. Would this actually be the best solution, though? Let's be real for a second. How much are they really paying out extra every single year because of the COLA? And do beneficiaries rely on the COLA? Well, I think a lot of people, based on what I see down below in the comment section and what all of us recognize, the COLA is pretty nice. I mean, there's a lot of mixed opinions on it because, a lot of times it increases income and therefore it offsets other benefits and things like this. But at the end of the day, do we feel a little bit better every single year when we get that note from Social Security that says, hey, your benefits are going up a little bit? Does that make us feel a little bit better? Yeah, of course it does, right? So anyway, this is one thing that they're talking about, is possibly canceling the COLA, and as a result of this, this would save Social Security. Again, in my honest opinion, not a great plan because at the end of the day, is this really going to solve the issue? No. All it's going to do is push it out maybe a little bit. Maybe a few months, maybe a year, maybe 2 if we're lucky. It's just not going to solve the overall problem, right? So that's why I'm saying nice idea, but again, not a good one. Not my plan. Something that I don't think would be a great idea at all. All right, so that's number one. Next, they're now talking about capping off the maximum benefit. So as of right now, some beneficiaries can get over $4,000 a month from Social Security. Imagine that. How would your life be if you got a check for over $4,000 every single month from Social Security? Would you be enjoying that? Yeah, I think you would be, right? I think most people would be very, very happy with a check of over $4,000 from Social Security every single month, right? That's about 50 grand a year, by the way. It's a lot of money, right? So as a result of that, they're saying, but wait, why are some beneficiaries getting nearly $50,000 a year from Social Security? That's a little bit high. So what they're now suggesting is capping off the maximum benefit. So what they're talking about is possibly capping it where it currently is, or possibly even shaving it down a little bit, pulling out their little razors and saying, shave, 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 and then let's bring it down a little bit, because they're thinking, hey, maximum beneficiaries probably don't need to get over $4 grand a month, so therefore, why don't we just shave it down a little bit? Well, they could certainly do that as well, and then cap it off, which basically the whole capping process would essentially be like, hey, the maximum benefit is no longer increasing. It's capped off at, X dollars, $3,500, $3,800, $3,900, $4,000, whatever they decide to do. They basically just say, let's put a cap on it, and that's it. The limit is you can go up to, X dollars, $4,000, for example, but you can't go above that. Each year, the maximum benefit continues to increase. Why? Because the COLA is also applied to that. Well, this would be also like a two-pronged approach here, right? If they cap off the benefit and cancel the COLA, well, then guess what? We're right back to where we started here, which is, well, then the benefit increase or the maximum benefit doesn't increase anymore, right? But that's essentially what they're saying, is that if we continue to increase the maximum benefit at the same rate as the COLA every single year, let's just say it's a 2% COLA. Well, that's a pretty big increase for a $4,000 benefit every single month, right? Well, you can clearly see that these maximum benefits continue to increase pretty substantially every single year. $4,000 plus dollars, it's a lot of money we're talking about, right? So that's what they're now suggesting. And again, would this really impact the higher income beneficiaries all that much? I mean, let's be real. Money is money, right? Dollars are dollars, pennies are pennies, things like this. So yes, of course, it would impact the higher income people. But at the end of the day, they've also found from other studies that usually higher income beneficiaries generally have other sources of income as well. Social Security is generally not their only source of income for the higher income beneficiaries who are receiving $4,000+ a month. So would it really impact them? Well, yes, it would. But would they be pretty upset? They might be upset a little bit, but would they, would this be the determining factor of having enough food every single month? Probably not, right? It's probably not going to impact them all that much. A couple $100 a month, probably not that big of a deal, right? So anyway, this is just kind of the idea that's floating around out there. But again, of course, as I do get more details on any of this, I'll bring it to your attention. But remember this much as well. Nothing has been brought into play yet. Nothing. We've seen tons of proposals. I can't even count the number of proposals that we've seen, all the ideas floating around out there, all the different things that they want to implement to change Social Security. I can't even imagine how many we're at by now. 50, 60, 80, there's a lot, right? There's a ton of different proposals, a ton of different ideas that are out there. But as I've discussed before in other videos, it's just a matter of figuring out which is the best approach going forward. They know just as well as we do, a lot of these are not even good ideas. They know that. But again, it's just like the strategy, right? You got to throw everything out there, and eventually, maybe say they have 50 proposals or 50 different ideas. Maybe of those 50, maybe only 10 are worth actually looking at. And of those 10 that are worth looking at, maybe only 3 or 4 are actually worth pursuing a little bit further. And of those 3 or 4, maybe only 1, 2, maybe 3 are actually worth acting on. So the whole idea and the whole purpose of this is to throw everything out there, including the kitchen sink, apparently, according to what they're doing here, right? And then just figure out which is the best approach, which of these should we actually act on. So they're coming out with a lot of great ideas. Again, being sarcastic, right? Not necessarily great ideas, but again, this is just what they're playing around with. So we will see what they actually happen to do. But I would anticipate they're going to resort to what they always do, which is the same old thing out of their playbook that they've been playing for a long time now, which is push out the full retirement age and, of course, to increase taxes on everybody, okay? It seems like the only things they can ever think about is doing. Why they have to come up with all these other ideas if that's the only thing they're ever going to do? Not really sure, but hopefully they'll figure out something to ultimately make sure that this program remains solvent and they can continue to pay out all of their promised benefits for many more decades to come into the future. And again, when it comes down to the COLA, let's just hope that they come to their senses. Why would they take something like that away? It would make no sense. It would save, a little bit of time for Social Security? I mean, what's it really going to be? 6 months? Maybe? A year? It's not going to do much. It's not going to solve the problem. All it's going to do is kick the can down the road a little bit, a few months, maybe a year, maybe a little bit more than that. Not really even sure what it would come out to be. It would not be very much time at all. And then we'd be right back in the same position looking at insolvency and a long-term solution that would need to be put in place. So anyway, I'll keep you posted as I get more details. Please, again, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands upon thousands of videos here on the channel. And as always, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. I do my best to read as many as I possibly can, as well as come back and answer those, as well as make dedicated videos where I see fit when I continue to see the same questions coming in time and time again. So either way, I'll keep you posted as I get more information on anything going on out there, especially as it's going to impact you, your benefits, your money, anything else like that. Of course, I'll be here for you. Anyway, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and catch you again later.